All right, this is Bart with a Bicycle Rider YouTube channel where we talk about cycling products that give you a lot of bang for the buck, or cycling products that we could say we've put our hands on, we've tested, or have first-hand experience with. And today we would like to talk about a really slick bike. It's called the Specialized Ruby. And it's a woman-specific bike that really has upped the game, raised the bar for women's cycling. And I can say that because my wife has ridden this particular bike and has had other years of the Specialized Ruby, and it really has been a game changer, not for her, but for many other women cyclists I know. And Specialized is a brand that does, an incredible amount of R&D, research and development, on their products to make sure things, fit right. And the Specialized Ruby is the women's version of the Specialized Roubaix. And the Roubaix is just such a fantastic riding bike. It's a performance machine that can handle, rougher terrain and keep people comfortable. And it's gone through several versions, and so has the women's Ruby as far as following the path of the Roubaix. And this is the newer generation Ruby, and I'm not quite sure if they're going to continue this bike in 2020. Right now on the Specialized, you can still buy the 2019 to 2018 brand new. But I wanted to review this bike because it is just such a fantastic bike if you're looking to buy your wife a bike that she's going to enjoy, that she's going to feel comfortable on, and that she can feel safe riding. The Ruby is a fantastic choice for that. And that's because they've made this bike very ergonomic for the woman's body. And I don't know, a lot of bike companies did that for a few years. Now they're changing to more, general platforms and maybe doing a different seat for the woman, because women and men are built anatomically a little bit different. And I've seen a lot of women just not comfortable on a bike that's been handed down to them that wasn't specifically made for the woman's body. But with the Specialized Ruby, it has really seemed to fit the bill of women's cycling. And of course, this bike comes in many different tiers. And this is my wife's personal bike, so this is the Sworks Ruby. But this video is not really focusing on the Sworks part of it. It's more about just the Ruby in general and the ride qualities it has. It's more of an endurance geometry, and that means that you're in more of a comfortable position than just a slammed race position like you might be on a Tarmac or a Venge or something like that. And this bike does put you up in the drops a little bit more, gives you a little bit better line of sight, especially if you're just trying to get into cycling and you want to be comfortable and performance is not on your biggest checkbox. I do have to say that the Ruby and the Roubaix are very performance-orientated bikes. I mean, they're race bikes, but they were kind of built for more of the cobblestones, the rougher terrains that, the pro cyclists have to do in the Tour de France and other races. But, that type of technology has trickled down into the end user, into a normal rider, and they are performance-orientated, even though I talk about them being more of a comfortable bike, more of a sturdy bike, something that can handle multiple terrains. When it comes down to it, they're a race-bred, thoroughbred racing machine, but in a more of a comfortable body. And that's why I say if you can get your hands on one of these for your wife, for your girlfriend, for a woman cyclist that you want her to enjoy the sport for a long time, the Ruby is a fantastic bike for that. And while they're still available, grab them. If you see these things come up used, most of the time I'd say don't be scared of it. They're built rock solid, and throughout the line they are spec'd differently for price points. But I have to say the first Ruby my wife bought was Ultegra components, carbon fiber, and this is 5 or 6 years ago when she was coming off of another road bike that she rode for fun and wanted to get more into group cycling, wanted to do a little bit more performance, but still wanted that comfort. And that was the first generation Ruby that had the Sworks in it. And it was surprising just how well those Sworks really did absorb the road buzz and made that bike comfortable, but yet enabled the rider to be able to escalate their level to ride with a group, to push the envelope to speed, but still be comfortable. And now that the newer generation Ruby has come out, you know, they went away with the Sworks, but they have made the frame compliant. So it's built out of carbon fiber, and of course, this being the Sworks, it's the 11R carbon fiber. So it's a stiff bike, but yet it does have a bit of compliance in the right places where you're not losing a lot of pedal power through the compliance, but you're not feeling a lot of the road buzz come up through the bike. One really neat thing they did was put the head shock technology on this bike, and you can actually see that it does have about 20 millimeters of suspension in the head shock, and Specialized has isolated the bike from the rider, so once again you're not losing a lot of energy through the bike platform, but you're still so much comfortable. But when it comes to, you know, hitting little potholes in the road, cracks in the sidewalk, you know, we ride a lot of unimproved roads here in South Mississippi, and a bike like this can handle those roads and still keep the rider comfortable. This is a disc model version, and you can put up to 32 millimeter tires. Wider tires, more air volume means more comfort, and you know, if you're looking at crunching data nowadays, you know, it's actually less rolling resistance on a wider tire. And now that we're going tubeless, I mean, the potential is unlimited with tires. But most people I know can fit up to about a 28 millimeter, especially a Specialized Roubaix 25-28 will fit in this bike and give you a lot of air volume and a lot of compliance. And it's nice when you have a bike that can fit a wider tire. And you know, this bike here is really a rocket ship. And once again, we're talking about this is the Sworks model. And you know, my wife has climbed the ranks in cycling, so she deserves an Sworks. As far as being able to push the envelope of speed, but still be comfortable. And you know, bicycling you can build a bike to fit any type of purpose. And so you might look at this bike and see that, you know, you've got a endurance road bike with aero bars. And I say, why not? I mean, she could ride this bike straight from our house down, you know, down the beach road that is pretty bumpy, around town that is really not built for cycling, be comfortable through all those situations. But when she gets into the national park, where you know, it turns into a speed fest, an aero bike playground, it's nice that she can, you know, she's got these aero bars mounted right to her bike, and she has got what we call blips. So this is an E-tap situation, electric shifting, and she can shift right here on the fly. So even though this is kind of a race rocket hybrid multi-purpose bike, I mean, there's nothing wrong with putting aero bars on a road bike, especially if you have a certain section that you're riding a lot that you know, really let you go into aero position and get that aerodynamic advantage of being in an aero bar. So you know, bikes can do multiple things. Don't be scared to throw aero bars on your bike, or fat tires on a bike. And a bike like a Roubaix or a Ruby is perfect for any of those type of situations. So I highly recommend the Ruby for a very comfortable, very fast bike for a woman. And if you want her to like cycling for a long time, think about this one. Once again, on the Bicycle Rider, we don't ask for people to subscribe often, but if you see the subscribe button, it helps us rank with YouTube, and we want to get more popular with YouTube and be able to bring these type of videos to you. So go hit the subscribe button. We appreciate that. And real quick, I want to just show you the weight on this bike, because sometimes when you're talking about an endurance geometry bike, you sacrifice a little bit of weight. But this bike here, and Gary will put a close-up later, you know, we're looking at 19.5 pounds, fully loaded with pedals, Garmin sensors, and in here we've got actually a multi-tool, spare tire, air, everything is set up in the swap box. So, you know, we're still talking about a very light bike, and this is real weight. This is with aero bars and the whole bit. So this is how this bike rides. And of course, being S-Works, is going to be a little bit lighter than some of the other Rubies out there. But weight is important with a bike. So if you want a lightweight bike for your wife, definitely think about the Roubaix or the Ruby, and go from there. But just know that this bike has been tried and true. A lot of miles on it, and a lot of smiles, and I love to see more women on bikes. So please buy your wife a cool bike. All right, thank you.